We live in a system and world of payments. As soon as you get paid, well, now you got to pay your mortgage payment, you got to make your car payment, you got to pay the furniture payment, you got to pay your credit card payment, and all these other payments that people have. And one of the most rewarding things that you can do is just eliminate these payments from your life. And this is where, if it does not put money in your pocket, you should not finance it, period. The only exception to this should be the house that you live in. That means when you go and buy the new iPhone, don't buy it with 0% APR, buy it outright with cash, that we don't have to worry about the payments. That means when you go and buy a car, don't buy it with a lease, don't buy it with financing, buy it outright with cash. Now, if you're a business owner and you're gonna strategically use a lease for your business for a tax write-off, sure, I understand that, but I'm speaking about now for the average person now. You're thinking about buying a car. Leasing is like flying first class. It is a luxury. If you can afford it, great. But not everybody can afford to fly first class. When you're thinking about buying a car, buy a car that you can afford with cash. Now, the first thing you're gonna say is, Jaspreet, what the heck are you talking about? Why would I wanna buy a $1,000 phone with cash when I can finance it for $50 a month with 0% APR? And the reason why is, let's take a look at the business perspective, because I'm a business person, okay? If you wanted to go out and get a loan from the bank for $1,000, would they give it to you at 0% interest? No. So why is Apple or any company gonna lend you a product for 0% APR? And the reason why is because they know it's extremely profitable for them. Why? Because number one, when you can buy it with 0% APR, they know that many more people are gonna buy this product because you don't feel the full pain of $1,000 leaving your account. Because if you had to pay the full $1,000, you might say, you know what, let me not buy the new one, let me buy the 2-year-old version one for $450. Instead, because it's $50 a month, now you can upgrade to the $1,000 one. Not just that, they also know that if you don't have the full pain of $1,000 leaving your account, you're much more likely to buy the other accessories like the phone care and the phone case and maybe the AirPods to go along with it. And then they also know, number three, that when you buy it with 0% APR, that a lot of people are not gonna pay it off in the 18 months that they say they're gonna pay it off. And then when you don't pay it off, within the 0% APR time period, you now get slapped with 20, 25, 35% interest. And we all know that that interest is making those companies rich, but it's coming out of your pocket. So no, 0% APR is not a winning transaction and you're not going to beat them in their own game. Then number two, when it comes to your car, look, I get it. The average person is not buying their car with cash, but you don't have to buy a $50,000 car. Because if you take the $8,000 down payment that you used for the $50,000 car and you use that $8,000 down payment to actually buy your car, well, now you have a car that can drive you to where you need to go with no car payment. That means you could take the $800 a month that you were putting towards your car payment and put that towards your savings and your investments to actually make you wealthy. That way your investments can pay for your car for you in the future. You no longer have to pay for the premium gas, you can pay for regular gas, and you don't have that expensive insurance payment anymore because your car is, well, cheaper. And now you also don't have to pay for the expensive oil changes because, well, you have a Toyota instead of a Mercedes. And now you start to see how much more money you can keep in your pocket just by keeping that car payment in your pocket. And I get it, it's difficult. I ran a business with multiple employees that was doing millions of dollars a year while I was driving around in a car that was worth about $500 that didn't have a bumper on it, that had multiple different types of rims on the car, that had rust on the sides of the car. I've been there. But you gotta prioritize what's more important to you. Is it looking like you're rich or is it actually becoming rich? I'll let you decide. Once you start getting out of that payments game that everybody in America loves playing, now we can actually start amplifying your wealth by now working in number 6, earning more money. Do you know why I like the 75, 15, 10 plan so much? Because this can scale with you. Whether you're making $30,000 a year, $300,000 a year, or $3 million a year, this system can work and scale with you, and it allows you to spend more money, but it also makes sure that you're always investing and saving more money regardless of how much money you earn. And now, once you understand how to use your money, you understand how to create a system for your money, you understand how to invest your money, you understand how to not spend your money stupidly, now it's all about how do you earn more money in the right way. And there are an infinite number of ways that you can do this, but you gotta find what's right for you. I get it. There's a bunch of people on the internet that love to sell you this idea, you need to dump your job and start a business. Well, the reality is starting a business is hard. It's not for most people. It's gonna require a lot of hours, and everybody's selling you this idea that you can work for 6 hours a week, make 6 figures a year, and live this laptop lifestyle, traveling the world. It's selling you a whole bunch of crap, and the only person getting rich selling you that system is the person that's actually selling you that system. So, if you want to actually start a business, great. I love entrepreneurship. I love entrepreneurs. Go ahead and do it, but understand it's going to take a lot of work. You better be ready to make that sacrifice, especially in the early years of working on weekends, working on evenings, working on holidays, and working around the clock. If you're not ready to do that, then probably you're not interested in starting a business. You could be interested in starting a side hustle. There's a lot of different things that you can do. You can be a freelancer, you can be a contractor, you can drive for Uber. There's a lot of ways that you can add some supplemental income to your lifestyle by being a 1099 somewhere. You can look at now, how can you get a raise at your own job? How can you work to provide more value at the company that you're at? You can work to get a career change. You can work to get a certificate. You can work to go back to school. I mean, there's so many ways to do it. You just gotta find what's right for you. But the key now is as you work to earn more money that you follow this system, because now when you get that $10,000 raise, oh baby, you're not just gonna go and blow it on a trip to Cancun. Now you're gonna take that money and you have more money to invest. You have more money to save. And yeah, you got a little bit more money to spend too, but this now, your investments mean that your money is working for you. And now as you work for more money, you got more money working for you. This money's working for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That way, soon, you'll be able to have the assets that will pay for your expenses. Now you're free. Because once you have the investments that come in and make you as much money or more money than your job, well, now you have the freedom to do whatever you want and not have to worry about the price, because this will keep paying you even when you're not working. But it requires you now to continue to fuel the system by putting more money in. That way you have more money to make you more money. And then finally, at the top of this climb to wealth mountain is you protecting your assets and leaving a legacy. And there's a couple things that I want you to understand here. Number one is, as a licensed attorney, who's not your attorney, what I can tell you is as you start to build your wealth, people will want to take their hand, put it in your pocket, and take some of your money for themselves. So you want to start building the right legal shields here. And this is going to depend on what you're doing. If you're starting a business, you want to have the right business attorneys to create legal shields around you. There might be an LLC, there might be an S corporation. There are multiple ways to create some legal shields, having the right insurances around you, and having the right incorporation structure. That way, in case you do get sued, that you have protection. You want to make sure you have the right insurances there, no matter what you're doing, because, well, unfortunately, people don't like paying for insurance. Trust me, I don't either. But when that bad thing happens, you want to make sure you have insurance there, whether it's for your investments, whether it's for your house, whether it's for your health. You want to make sure you have the right insurances to protect you. Then beyond that, you also want to think about having your estate plan in place. As you start to have assets, you want to think about how are you going to pass these assets down? Because the last thing you want to happen is something to happen tragically, unexpectedly, and now the government decides how your money is going to be distributed and how your family is going to be taken care of. And the last person you want to tell your family where your money is going to go is the government. So think about this ahead. As you start building your assets, talk to an attorney. Yeah, it's going to cost you a few $100, maybe a couple $1,000, depending on the scope of your wealth and your finances, to build that will, to build the trust, to build whatever estate planning needs that you have. But you want to have that there. And then the final part to leaving this legacy now is also giving back. Because now, as you start to build that wealth, you can also start to think about how you can help more people, how you can give back, and how you can serve more people. Because the reality is, when you have the ability to help, well, you can help more people get to the next level, because sometimes people just need a little helping hand, and now you have the resources to do that. Whether it be money, whether it be time, whether it be knowledge, you have the ability to help more people, and that's how you get to the top, climb to wealth. And to go through this, listen, it's not easy. I call it a decade of sacrifice. And this decade of sacrifice is you put in 10 years of spending less and earning more to invest like crazy. And if you're willing to stick through that decade of sacrifice, you are going to be a completely different person with a completely different financial situation where your friends and family are not going to recognize you. But notice what I said. It's not a 6-month process. It's not a 2-year process. It's not a 5-year process. We're talking about a decade. And the reason why a lot of people don't want to say this is because it's not very attractive. It's not very sellable. Who wants to buy a get rich in 10 years system? The reality is, this is how you actually build wealth over the long term. And the way it works is year 1, you put in all this effort and you see 0 return. Year 2, you put in a whole bunch of effort and still really no return at all. Year 3, you put in more effort and still very little return, if anything at all. Year 4, you start to see a little bit, but you're questioning yourself. I just put in 4 years of work and I'm seeing pennies as my result. Year 5, you start to see a little bit more, and now you're starting to see, oh, maybe things are starting to pick up. Year 6, things are starting to get a little bit better. Year 7, now things are starting to get a little bit better. Year 8, you finally start to see the light now. 8 years into the process. Think about where you are today and where you were 8 years ago. In 8 years, now you start to see the real light. In year 9, now you start to see the real returns of this. And by the time you hit year 10, now you can start to see the compound effect of that decade of work that you put in. And now you see the impact of all of these things. So yes, it is possible. Yes, it will take work. Yes, it will take time. But if you're willing to stick with it and go through the hustle and go through the hard work, you have the opportunity to change your life and be in a completely different financial situation if you are willing to make the sacrifices and put in the work and learn and invest in your own education, invest in your own investments. That way you can now work to grow through this time to wealth. And with that, again, I want to remind you that if you're an investor and you want to stay up to date on what's happening in the financial markets, Market Briefs is a free resource that my team created. That way you can do so, and I have that link for you down in the description. If you enjoyed this clip and you want to continue your financial education journey, I have another video that I think you'll love. All you got to do is click that button right over there. And for those of you who want to stay up to date on the top finance and business news, you can join Market Briefs, my free financial newsletter, by clicking that button below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.